Recording is on.
Hi there, I am Daniel Uyo, a tech consultant and CEO of Korlink Technologies. After our cybersecurity webinar on 9th July 2026, I and my team did a review on the webinar recording, and we discovered that there were some vital information which you were supposed to have access to that was missing on that recording because we recorded a little bit late. So, on that note, I take it upon myself to create a makeup webinar video for that particular webinar. So, on that day, we discuss deception by design, and we demonstrate how malicious hackers use phishing links to harvest victim credentials on the internet. We also introduce you to cybersecurity, where we say that cybersecurity is the practice of protecting network, devices, and data on the internet, right? And we also talk about the different cyber threats that we have, at least some common ones, where we talk about the viruses, ransomware, malware, and phishing. And our interest was focused on phishing because we are trying to show how malicious actors use phishing link to harvest victim credentials on the internet. So before we get started, there are some things you need to understand how the process works. And we say that before the malicious hackers harvest this victim, first they need to know what information do they want, like what credential do they want. Like most of the application that we have today, most of the credential that is needed is the username and the password, right? So once that is established, they will now go further to which organizational username and password do we want, right? So they can decide to make use of PayPal, which we demonstrated in our class, PayPal, Google accounts, and maybe banking information. Okay, we don't know. It's um, the hacker's intent that would determine that. So depending on the particular account that they want to have access to, okay, from there, they will now try to create a site that will now look exactly like that particular site that they want to harvest victims' credential, especially the login page, right? So after that, they will now expose that site to the one network, which is the internet, okay? After exposing the site to the internet, they will now find a way to drop a message, right, with the link of that particular malicious site on that particular email. So they will use, basically, they will use mass email. They will send to over 1,000 mail to people, right? So, and most of the time, the subject of the mail will create urgency. So they will see subjects like login updates or something like account update or security attention needed, anything that can create a sense of urgency for someone to try to find out what is happening to his or her account. From there, when once the victim clicks on the link, they will like it will open the malicious page where they will now fill in their details like the username and password and try to log in. And the most beautiful thing about this is that when once the victim now fill in the username and password and click login, it will redirect them to the original sites, right? So that they will not feel that this was fake or this was a scam. And to the hackers, they have what they need. So without further ado, let's get over to the lab and demonstrate what we did on that webinar. So I'm just going to share my screen here. And I think we use Kali Linux, so we are still going to use Kali Linux in today's class. Okay. So we said that Kali Linux is an operating system used by security personnel, like cybersecurity personnel, because they already have the pre-installed tools for them to use in their day-to-day activities. So when you are coming onto this operating system. Newly, this is what you will see, the desktop, and most of the newer Kali Linux operating system, they have this desktop. You can change it, but that's not our focus for today's class. So if you don't have knowledge of Kali Linux, I would advise you go over to our site, or you message any of our team member, and you'll be given the link to Kali Linux course, where you can take the course. And with few days or few weeks, you will get to master this operating system. So we just have to go over to our terminal, right? And then in this terminal, we are going to split it into two. So we just have to split it. I think I should split it top and bottom. So let me split it top and bottom. Okay. Just trying to increase the font so that it will be more visible. Then I'll also create another instance, please. I'll also launch another instance, that particular one. I'll just increase it as well. So we start by the site template. Okay, so what we want in this particular class, what we want to demonstrate is how these hackers get access to the username and password of their victims. That is what we want to demonstrate. So the tool we are going to use is Zfisher. So Zfisher is a tool that has already made templates for a lot of organizational websites. Okay, so it has already made templates for us to use, so we don't have to go and create the template anymore. So just have to start the Zfisher script, phishing analysis, and then okay, cd into Zfisher. This I'm going to clear my screen because I've splitted it. So to start a script in in Linux is sudo dot slash zfisher dot sh, which is the name of the script that you want to start. Enter. It's asking us for our administrative password. Okay, so you can see it is starting. So this is how the script is. So Zfisher has a lot of templates like the Facebook, Instagram, Google, Microsoft, Netflix, PlayStation, Twitter, Discord, and the rest, WordPress, and the rest, just name it, okay? So what we are going to use in this particular class is the PayPal, okay? So 06. So after that, it's going to ask if you are hosting it in your local system or you want to host it in a Cloudflare or local expos. In a real live hacking scenario, what the hackers do is that they buy their cloud space because you don't want to have a system that disconnects. Okay, so they always buy their cloud space. But for this class, we are going to demonstrate it using a local system. So local system, that is 01, right? And the ports, I'll just have to go with port 8080. There's no need for custom ports. So you can see that the Zfisher has started in our local system. That's where we have the loopback IP address, which is 127.0.0.1 and port 8080, right? So the next thing is, now, this particular tool has started in our local system. No one have access to it. How can we now expose? Like, how can we expose this our local system to the wide area network? That is the internet, right? So that's when we have to use a tool called ngrok. So ngrok HTTP port 8080. If you make use of a custom port, please remember to use that here. But if you use port 8080, just make use of port 8080. So this particular tool is going to generate a public or one link, which will be pointing back to our local system. So you just have to copy the link. This is the link here. So let's copy the link. And then we move back to our system. Okay. So the next thing is, how do we now deliver this particular link, malicious link, to the victims, or how do they deliver it to the victims? Not we, right? So sometimes they create their own scripts. Sometimes they use already made tool. You can use some phishing campaign tools. But for this particular class, I have created my own Python script that sends mail right? It can be massive, it can be spear phishing mail to recipients. So I'm just going to make use of my Python scripts that I've created for the purpose of this webinar. Okay. So cd z fisher, right? I'm going to clear my screen. So the tool is email sender.py. Like I said earlier, I created using Python. So how do we start it? With Python email sender.py. As simple as that. And it has started. Please, disclaimer, if you have access to this tool and you're making use of it for any malicious intent, please, you are liable for anything that comes out of it, as this is only for educational purpose. Okay, so when we start the script, you can see step one is going to ask us for some information like for us to enter the sender address. So cyber tests at fixlabtech.com. Okay, cybertest at fixlabtech.com. And then, okay, the SMTP account password. Okay, and then step two, it will now try to initialize if we are sending it to mass mail or a single mail. Okay, so for the purpose of this class, like I said earlier, we are going to do spear phishing, which we are sending it to a particular recipient. So to ask us for our target recipient, right? So that is Daniel Uyo for take at gmail.com. Okay, Daniel Uyo for take at gmail.com, and then we enter. So then it will ask us for the gateway. That's the gateway authentication link. Okay, this is the link that once the victim opens that mail and try to secure his or her account, the victim will now be directed to the malicious page. Okay, so that is the link of that page that we put in here, and we have already generated that link using what, the ngrok. Okay, so we just have to paste that link here and we enter. So it has queued that mail and it's going to send it out. So yes, send it out. Okay, so handshaking via SMTP mail and the rest of the things. Uh, I just pray the network. I think we have some network issues. So there's some network issues. Just have to check if our network is reaching this IP address, stackmail.com. So I think it's reaching. Let's just try it again. And then cybertests at gmail. Not Gmail, please, at fixlabtech.com. I think that might be the reason. Cybertest at fixlabtech.com. Then the password. Okay. Then we are sending it to a single recipient, Daniel Uyo for take at gmail.com. And then the authentication link. So yes. Okay, so I think maybe I made a mistake in the sender email. Okay, so let's just go over to our inbox, and you can see the mail has been delivered to our inbox. Network operation. So what most of the hackers they do, they will make a name like Facebook, PayPal, and the rest. Okay, so once the victim opened the mail, right, they will have this notification: security credential successfully updated, just to create some sense of urgency. And they'll have, this is a confirmation that the password for your account has just been changed. If you didn't change it, most times they do not change it. So it just, you are triggering them to try to feel that something has happened to the account. So secure your account, right? So they will always want to secure the account. So that is when things get interesting. Okay, so on opening the link, this is what they will see, right? This is what they will see, and they would like to fill in their mail. So like me, Daniel Uyo for take at gmail.com. com. Okay, then the password, and then they will click login. Now, the most interesting thing about this thing is that after clicking login, it will now redirect you to the original PayPal account, like you can see the PayPal recovery account, so that you will not even suspect that this was some kind of scam. Okay, so where you're trying to see how you can log into your PayPal back and forth, they already have access to your credentials at the back end. So you can see from the back end victim IP found. And this is another security threat because from your IP address, they can use it to track to the nearest location if you're not making use of VPN, right? To protect your IP. So your IP is exposed. So the account info, you can see the account and username, which is Daniel Luyo for take@gmail.com, and then the password, which is 1234567. And so if two-factor authentication was not enabled on that account, they will just pick this credential and log into your system. And even if two-factor authentication is enabled in that account, hackers still have their way of bypassing two-factor authentication, which we still do it. Okay, so all those tricks we know it. Okay, so that is where we are going to stop for this particular class. Okay, so I just believe this makeup class, I've covered everything that you need to know about how hackers make use of phishing links to harvest victim credential over the internet. Please, if you have any difficulties, do well to reach out to our team and we will respond as fast as possible. And also, our cybersecurity training is ongoing. Yeah, it's ongoing. So please, if you are interested in learning cybersecurity, it's a 4 month cybersecurity program, training program. Okay, some we are even giving scholarship. Okay, some we are even giving scholarship. So we are trying to make learning a particular tech skill to be open to everybody to learn, because this skill is something that you can contribute to, the world. So please, if you are interested in learning cybersecurity, do well to also reach out to our team member and we will always respond as fast as possible. So thank you for being there to the end of this course. And I tell you, you are going to get a lot from this training, and have a nice day.